Alright, gang, that was Apex Predator from Otep's latest studio album, Hydra. And as promised, after a little rescheduling, she's with me now by phone. Otep, thank you for joining me here inside the Asylum. How are you?
How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. Thank you for taking the time out to join us. I know you're very busy with the tour getting started.
Yes, it's been really busy. So far, the show's been great. It's been crazy.
Well, that's always good to hear. I want to backtrack for a second because I was looking things over and going through my own catalog of your music, and I noticed that you kind of hit the music world and all your fans with a kind of a left-right hook in releasing Sounds Like Armageddon, your first and only live album last November, and then followed that up with Hydra in January of this year. Was that something that you had figured to do, or did it just kind of happen that way, that they kind of came out as a left-right?
It just kind of came out that way. Wasn't really that planned. In fact, it was kind of thrown onto us at the moment. It's like, you're doing a live record and you're doing your next record right now. And so it kind of was, and we were fine with it because we were always ready to create. But it was a really just remarkable circumstances that they happened right around the same time.
Yeah, because I remember pre-ordering both of them. I pre-ordered Sounds Like Armageddon, and it seemed like as soon as I got it and was getting into it, it was like, wait, I got to pre-order Hydra. Like, did I miss something along the way? And it was kind of a nice 1-2 surprise for everyone from you guys.
Say that one more time. No, say that one more time. Sorry.
Well, I said it was.
I'm in a Walmart.
Okay.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, no worries. What I was saying was it was a nice surprise, at least for the fans, to have that 1-2 hit.
Oh.
Because I pre-ordered both of them, and it seemed like as soon as I had Sounds Like Armageddon in my hands, and I was really really getting into it, and then suddenly it was, you're releasing Hydra, and it was like, it almost seemed like it was meant to be released that way, because it kind of reminded everyone that, you hadn't gone anywhere.
Well, it was, like I said, it was just a very happy circumstance that it did happen that way, and I'm really happy that we were able to do it, because I always wanted to do a live record. Not a lot of people do live records anymore. So it was an amazing opportunity to be able to do a live record and then be able to go right into the studio with that live energy and put it onto, and then create a new studio album. So it was really cool.
Definitely was very, you can hear the energy, that raw energy that you speak of. You can hear it on Hydra. And the one thing I've always wondered is, you are a very creative person. Anyone that follows you, your career, follows you on Twitter, knows that you're always writing. And I've always wondered, how do you know in the creative process when you're writing something that is just going to be poetry for one of your books, or if you're writing something that's going to be something for an album?
Oh, I never know. I just try to keep writing. I really find, I don't know. I find myself in when I'm writing. I find I'm able to connect to myself a lot easier when I'm writing. So sometimes things what I believe is going to be a short story or a poem, turn into a song, and sometimes things that I think are songs actually turn into poems. So it's really, I can't ever go into it thinking, oh, this is going to be a song, because then it usually will turn out terrible. If I go into something that's I think kind of a intention. It never really turns out the way that I want it to. So I kind of just have to surrender to the subconscious, and see if that's going to be the one. So we have. What you try to do is just go into it and just stay true to the muses. You just try to stay true to your inspirations.
I got you. So basically, you don't sit down and say, okay, I have to write an album and that's what I'm writing. Or you don't sit down and say, it's time that I write another book of poetry, that's what I'm writing. You just kind of sit down and whatever comes out is what comes out.
That's right. Yeah, I just try to write it, and sometimes it'll just be one idea. Sometimes it'll be, something a little bit more specific. But who knows really what it's going to turn into. I just try not to be so obvious about it. I just write it. You try to write it as it comes. Surrender to the subconscious, surrender to the muses.
And really, I feel that's the best way to do it. I think too many people in the industry worry about what they have to write as opposed to what they are writing. It gets mixed up along the way, and you obviously don't have that issue because you just let the creativity take hold and go for it. And that makes me wonder because it was stated, and I kind of want to put you on the spot just a moment, and because it was stated that Hydra is going to be your last studio album, and it sounds like you always got that creative flow going. And is that the case? Hydra is going to be that last album, or is there stuff that might still come? Because as I said, you're obviously a very creative person, and creative people can't be stopped, and it's kind of hard to stop that flow.
Well, I don't ever plan on stop. I'm never going to stop creating. But the thing is that I can't say for certain that Hydra will be my last album ever. What I can say is that at the time when I was writing that record, it felt like it should be my last record because, everything that I've ever created, everything that I've ever done, it had to be real. It had to feel real. Otherwise, I felt like I was being dishonest to the people that believed in me, to the people that believed in the music, and so I really didn't want to fake it. I never wanted to fake it. So when I wrote Hydra, it felt like I gave everything that I had in that album, and I put my foot on the last tour in 3 places. But we finished the tour, and I finished it in a cast, and did everything that I was supposed to do, and it didn't feel right to end it on that, on just on a tour like that, like to end it with a broken foot, to end it with in that way. So I really felt like it was important to come back out and do another run. And if music comes to me again in a way that is strong and uncompromising, and I can't deny it, then of course I'll write another record. For everybody who wants me to write another record, touring always pollinates me with inspiration. So I don't know what form it'll be in, but I'm certain. I'll be doing something. I've been writing several short stories and working on a book for quite a while. Actually, a few book ideas I've been tooling around with. But so we'll see. I mean, it's really hard to say. It's hard, when you love something. I mean, I love music so much. It's given me so much, and it's been able to allow me to connect to so many people that I never would have ever known. I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for it. So it's really meaningful to me, and it's hard to say never in that regard.
No, I can completely understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you said you felt that it was, the last tour you did earlier this year, in promotion of Hydra and right after Hydra didn't feel right. Is that, why it was so easy for you to kind of say, you know what, we're going to go out again in the fall? Or did you still have some reservations about going out again right after doing all the touring you did earlier this year?
I didn't really have any reservations about it. I just felt like we needed to do it again because, we still gave it, 1,000% at our shows, but it just wasn't fulfilling for me to stand up there with, my leg in a cast. And, most people said they couldn't tell that I had my leg in a cast. It still felt like an Otep show, same energy, same passion. But I could tell. I was always in pain. My foot was broken in 3 places. It was just, I just couldn't do the things that I normally love to do during performances. And I had to stay very guarded about it. Like, make sure I don't do this so I don't injure the foot again or hurt it during a song and I won't be able to sing, So, I just wanted to make sure that I could give everybody what they wanted, and also, it's in a sort of personal way, be able to perform in the way that I love to perform. So we wanted to come back out and do it again.
Well, I do know. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see the tour earlier this year, and I won't be able to make the tour you're out on now. But I do know a mutual friend of ours, Tim Martinez, best known as Tim number 37 to those here in the New York area, told me that you were definitely on your game. I mean, he said to me, you wouldn't have known that, you had hurt your foot. So, he knows you a long time and loves you and loves your music. And for him to say, he knew, but even though he knew, he couldn't tell during your performance. That says a lot to who you are and what you give to your fans every night.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thank you. It is important to me that we give everybody, a great show, no matter if there's 5 people in front of us or 500. We try to give everybody, every show counts and every tour counts. And, my still is mending. It's still not 100%, but about 97%, I would say. But we're going out and doing our best every single night, and really want to give everybody the best show we can.
Now, was there a lot of changes outside of the supporting bands from the tour earlier this year and the tour now? Did you do any major changes to the set list? Was there, little tweaks here and there? Or did you kind of just add on to where you left off earlier this year?
Oh, no, we rearranged. Yeah, we're playing new songs. We're still playing some of our staple songs that I love so much. But we're definitely playing some newer songs. We got Possession in there. We got Smash Control Machine. Rise Well Resist is back. Plus, we're playing, just our regular. Those Flowers, My Confession, Confrontation, Blood Pig, Battle Ready, Trick. We brought Possession back, which I think is We haven't played that song in probably about 6 or 7 years, so the people are going crazy for that one too. So it's pretty much the same, but just different.
It's good to hear, and it's kind of refreshing to hear that because a lot of people in the industry rely on hits, and you come across, at least from what I've heard and what I've seen online, with everything being on the internet, I'm able to keep track of shows I wasn't able to attend. You find a way, and I don't know how you do it, but you find a way to mix in something from everywhere in your history of your albums, as opposed to just relying on the singles each and every time you go out.
Yeah. So what's the question?
Well, is that something that you're able to do because you're so into your creative writing process that you're able to pick and pull pretty much any song from your catalog when you tour and not rely on the singles like some other artists do?
You know what, it's just, we always try to prepare, and I think it's just great that, we prepare for every tour to make sure that we have enough new music, and we know the songs a lot, but at the same time, it's like, some audiences they want rage and they want, fire and passion, and some want the spiritual experience of it. So we kind of cater each set, and improv according to who we're playing for, because you can't just play the same music for every audience, because people in different, regions act different and they respond differently to different energies. People in Southern California are a little different than Northern California. People in Kentucky are different from Jersey. It's just a different energy. And it's not better or worse. It's just different. So we just have to, sometimes you as a front person, you have to feel the vibe of your audience and understand that, okay, they don't want this, they want this, and then you just go in that direction, and then it turns out to be a great show for everybody. You feel good, they feel good. It's amazing.
I tell you, I wish more bands would take your mentality on touring than they do, because so many times bands go out and they rely on the songs everybody knows for every city they're going to, as opposed to feeling the vibe. And I think that also speaks volumes to your own creativity and the band that you put together.
Yeah, thank you.
Very, very well.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be able to speak to you here tonight inside the Asylum. And I know you're busy and everything with the tour going, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. Is there anything coming up after you're done with this tour? What is your plans for once this tour is over?
Oh, I can't even think about that right now. We're just 3 shows in on this tour, so once this one's done, who knows? But right now we're just focusing on making sure that we give every city gets the best we can give them, and we work hard. We give them, because it takes a lot of work to build those shows up, to get them ready for people to show up. Even before the show starts, we're working, putting the stage together and getting the sound right, and all the people that are at the venues who work hard for us to help us get those shows ready, and then all the opener acts and everything. So it's every day is work. We're like building up a decadent decadent carnival every day, and then tearing it back down every night and going to the next city. It's right now our focus is just really trying to make the best tour we can.
Awesome. It's really good to hear that. It's refreshing to hear that. Again, I think there need to be more artists with that mentality. And if everyone, make sure you go out, you see Otep on tour this time around. If you missed her earlier this year, now's your chance to catch us. You'll be here in the New York area on the 15th and 16th of October at the Stanhope House. On the 16th, and I'm sorry, the 17th of October, you'll be at Webster Hall. I'm sorry I can't make that one. I wish I could, but I will be there in spirit. And I thank you again for taking this time to join me here inside the Asylum. And before we head out and get back into the tunes, I always like to ask if there's something from your catalog we should go into next.
Oh, how about Invisible?
Invisible.
That's a good one.
You got it. All right. Coming up right now. You're very welcome. Coming up right now is Invisible from Otep, and around more music to come.